color snowboard. This would be your park board, rail board for someone a little lighter, someone that likes a soft board. Jibs, I use it for handrails, and park that doesn't have big jumps. My favorite thing about it would be this year definitely the graphic. It's a reverse camber. When you stand in the bindings, your contact points are down, which is nice, so you still have the benefits of a camber board. I'd say what makes it different from all the other rail boards out there is that it's torsionally stiff, like this, which makes it a lot more stable. I found with a lot of other rail boards, you sacrifice stability for softness to be able to press easy, but then when it's a slushy day and you want to get a little speed, you're all over the place, you're super chattery. We got the rubber inlay in the edges, so the edges can take a bit more impact, and then it cuts down vibrations, which is nice. Yeah, it's an awesome rail board, super fun park board. I'd say it's probably my favorite board in the line. That's the color. All the graphics change through sizes, which is really cool. There's also the 5.2 is my favorite graphic. We don't have it here. That's Siggy the elephant. It's like an elephant smoking 2 cigarettes. It's pretty funny. Yeah, that's the color. The high five. This is your true twin, same as the color, true twin, centered stance. It's a lot stiffer, it's camber, it's got quite a bit more side cut than all the other boards, which makes it not so much a rail board, but really good for half pipe, quarter pipes, hips, big park jumps. It's a really, really stable board. Good for somebody that just likes to go fast. Graphics awesome. So yeah, this is your ripping park board for the guy that doesn't really hit rails. I use it at like Super Park and Black Park and Whistler, which is like all the big park jumps. Yeah, that's an awesome board. The high five. The next board would be the BOD. This is I was a little iffy about it. Dow was telling me this new technology where we have the effective edge points from there to there are raised 3 millimeters, and it's no camber. I thought it would be just a super unstable board, not having your points down. And I gave it a shot, I rode it, and it was the funnest snowboard I've ever ridden. It rides like nothing else. It's super different. You need to try it to see what it's all about. It was supposed to be, well, it is for POW. I found it makes riding natural terrain just so much easier than any other board. Like when you have a camber board, obviously it's a lot harder riding POW. You get the sore back leg, but then when you hop on a reverse camber, it makes it where you don't have to lean back, so you don't get the sore leg. Having no camber kind of puts it in between, not making it the easiest board to ride POW on. But having these lifted edges, anytime you need to traverse across any POW, like if you have a slope and you have to cut across it, if you're on a camber board, you have to lean back super hard to keep your nose up, which gives you the sore leg. If you hop on a reverse camber, you're able to not be leaning back so much, so you don't get that sore leg. But if you're traversing, the second your nose dips under the snow, like you got your slope like this, as soon as the nose gets under the snow, it just gets gobbled, and it just pulls your nose in, and that's what makes doing freestyle tricks in POW, like a front three or something, so difficult, because your nose digs in as soon as you go to put your edge down. Having these corners lifted, it makes it where when you're cutting, you don't have to lean back. You can stand equal weight over your bindings, and just that little lift actually propels the snow and keeps your nose up. Whereas if you're on a reverse camber, it's nice if you lean back, but the second your nose gets under the snow, it's still the same thing. So like in theory, the reverse camber's good, it makes it easier, but as soon as you want to travel around in the snow, it's not as easy as on this board. At first, we thought it was just going to be a POW board, but after riding it on hardpack, I found that it's great for rails, park. It's actually having it be no camber and these lifted, it doesn't make it unstable. Like you still have your edge from here to here, so it almost makes it feel like a smaller board than you're actually riding. So doing like flat ground tricks and stuff is still great. It takes a little bit getting used to, but it's fun. It's like the closest thing to a skateboard that I've ever ridden. Being that like, when you have a camber or a reverse camber board, your ollie point is this wide. So when you go to ollie, it's very stable like that. It's like riding a skateboard that has a super wide flat tail, which is cool, makes it easier, but for somebody that has ridden a lot of park and really like has their tricks and isn't like learning or a beginner, hopping on this makes your ollie point, having these lifted, it's more in here and rounded. So when you go in ollie, it's like a skateboard. Like on your tail on a skateboard right here, when you pop, it can go either way. It's a lot looser. So you have to be, you just have to be a little more on it. But then if you want to go do, say, a back 180, when you're on a camber or reverse camber, you do your back 180, you land, and right away you feel your effective edge go on the ground like that, and it's like, so you have to be like, you have to do the full 180. Whereas on this, you can kind of, like on a skateboard, you do a back 180 or a front 180, I think the funnest part is landing maybe like 140, and you can kind of go like with your wheels and scrape it. Having this point makes it the closest thing to a skateboard possible. Like you can land 90 and pivot it, and it's not all on your toe edge. Whereas like when you're on a camber board, you go to a 180 and land 90, and that digs in and it just slows you right down. And you can pivot it like a skateboard, but you're sacrificing your ride away because you lose all your speed. Whereas on this, you don't have your effective edge going to the ground. So you scrape, but it's smooth because the scrape is right here. So for like one of my favorite things to do snowboarding is just to like hop on a groomed run and just go through flat ground tricks like a front 3, a front 180, a nollie back 180. And yeah, like a nollie back 180, for example, is so much more fun on this board. On a camber or reverse camber that you have your effective edge down, your focus on a nollie back 180 is on your toe edge. Dig it in, and that's your pop point. Whereas on this, it's not. Your focus is on the nose, like a skateboard. So you go nollie straight, not putting your toe edge in, and the 180 is actually like all relied on like your shoulders and your body position, and then you can land and you can slide it without having the edge down. I think this is going to be a big hit. People just need to try it. There's demos all over the place, so you don't have to buy one before giving it a test. And yeah, that's the BOD. That's the coolest board we got going right now.